Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. We are talking about political gravity for the most important election of America's lifetime. Sarah, you were talking during the break about how this is so easy, anybody can do it. I'd like to hear a little more about that, please.
Yes. First of all, we have very informative tutorials which will help people that aren't used to using a smartphone or even an iPad. But for those that don't have access to a smartphone or an iPad, we can also print up walk sheets as well.
Okay. Some folks don't even have computer access. Correct. I mean, let's face it. If you're over the age of 60, for the most part, this is all new technology, and it's more of a, pain to learn how to use. So there is a protocol for actual good old-fashioned paper.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Now, also, what about those that aren't able to walk the precincts, those that don't have the physical capabilities?
Yes.
Well, it's important to still be doing this micro-targeting, which we'll talk about shortly. But this app also has the feature of doing phone banking as well.
Did that. Yep.
So, and it will set it up so that after you're done with a call, it will automatically start the next.
Really?
So it's really exciting, not just for walking, but for phoning too.
It's like some of the phone banking that we've done for the different candidates. Now, where it automatically goes to a computer, or does it also generate a call list where folks can go ahead and call just from their phone too? Because if someone doesn't have computer access, so you've made this so anybody can step up and help plug in to take America back.
Correct. And as I'm sure you have noticed, not
anybody. Conservatives, decent-minded people that'll get rid of the rascals.
Well,
the rascals have got a lot of money, and they've got their own powerful things.
That goes without saying. Your choice for the conservative voice. Of course, we're not trying to promote the liberalism or the progressive ideology.
Now,
no, you're right.
We definitely have an uphill battle.
Absolutely.
And when we have an uphill battle, especially in a state like Illinois, we need to make it as easy as possible for those that actually are willing to step up to the plate to be effective. So that's why we have come up with this tool, and that's why it's really important. Yes?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Why do you think some folks just don't want to step up? Do you think because some of this is so confusing, there's a fear factor? I mean, they'll show up to meetings and rallies and be all, yeah. But is some of this stuff too confusing, do you think, where they don't understand, and maybe something like this political gravity can actually help them to make it through the wilderness until they understand? Is just a question.
Well, that's a very good question. Very good question. When it comes to attending a meeting and attending a rally, it is very easy for people because it's comfortable. You're around like-minded individuals. However, that's great, but we're not going to win elections with that.
No.
And in order to win elections, we need to do the uncomfortable things foremost. So, and that is getting out in your community. However, it doesn't have to be extremely confrontational.
It shouldn't be confrontational.
Right. So here's the thing. Micro-targeting is very important. And I learned this firsthand very clearly when I was in South Dakota working for John Thune to defeat Tom Daschle.
And which was an amazing feat in and of itself.
Oh, let me tell you, there was such a high at 3:30 in the morning that one morning. But what we did is we found out between 3 and 5 issues that every single voter cared about.
Right.
Okay? Now, yes, it takes time, and we don't necessarily have to do every single voter. Yes.
Can I, you know what,
Sure.
though? You know what? During this cycle, those 3 to 5 issues, if folks are not worried about this unsustainable debt and the way our economy is tanking, people losing their homes, losing jobs, being on unemployment, I don't think you even need to micro-target as much. And you're right, you don't want to antagonize people because you can't influence them if you antagonize them.
Correct.
You have to find your common ground and then build from there.
Correct.
But we have found that people are scared. People are frightened as to where this government keeps getting bigger, and this debt on Americans that we're never going to pay back. China's going to own us.
we cannot expect someone to agree with us 100% in order for them to vote for us or for our candidates that we're supporting. So therefore, it's important to understand what issues are important to them. And right now in Illinois, I know this sounds very ironic, but we're somewhat blessed to be in this situation, this extreme financial situation, but we're blessed in the sense that it gives us an opportunity to reach out to the far left, okay?
Yes.
And we have an issue that we can get them on. We have an issue that we can reach to their hearts on.
I beg to differ. The far left, the Occupy,
Well, maybe not necessarily that far
I
left,
don't
but
think
yeah.
we'll ever get to them, but pragmatic Democrats that are hardworking, that are tax-paying citizens, we've been walking precincts, they're disgusted. They are starting to awaken to the fact that our pensions here in Illinois are in crisis. There are teachers that are scared to death that they're going to lose their pensions because of this unsustainable pension system here in Illinois.
Now, there is an opportunity to drive a wedge between those progressives and the Blue Dog Democrats. The Blue Dog Democrats, the Democrats of yesterday, are still the same folks. They don't realize what the progressives have done. Now, I do have a question. One of the things that I've seen with these walk sheets is the information's not new. And so how often is this database updated?
The database?
Yes.
It's updated very frequently. And for example, every single door that you go to, it's being updated.
Because you have to plug in. You
Correct.
go ahead and apply it on the smartphone. So I go to 123 Main Street, and John and Mary Doe are no longer living there. You would mark that on the thing.
You mark that they have moved. They're no longer there.
Yep.
So that really the database cleans itself up.
Which is
But
great.
you have to use it.
Very cool.
You have to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to use the tools to make the tools function.
Correct.
And I do agree with you with what you're saying, the opportunity here in Illinois. And you know, the Chinese symbol for crisis also is the symbol for opportunity. And we do have a great opportunity through this crisis to reach out to those Ronald Reagan Blue Dog Democrats. We don't have to cause the wedge. The occupied folks and their behavior is taking care of itself. The way they're acting, I think a lot of people except this president are just turning away from that.
Well, I can promise.
Let me give you something that we've done, that is in the Republican Renaissance PAC. We found a lady named Deb Cordell's in the city. She started trying to get Republicans on the ballot. Well, in Chicago, you don't want to get known as a Republican, or you're not going to get a job, or
We
your
don't
business
want
may fall.
nobody sent. Is that how
We
it
don't
goes?
want nobody
Okay.
sent. That's the motto there. And anyway, that's what's been going on. But Deb Cordell's, she, with no previous big involvement in politics, has started two different street shops. Offices to go to. One is on Irving Park Road, the other is down in the 10th Ward, almost in Indiana. And she's getting all kinds of people. And what we're finding out is that there is a revulsion among the people of Chicago that are ready to accept somebody running as a Republican. They're getting a little sick of the idea that to get a job or to have your business run decently, you got to kiss the nose of the other part on the Democrats that are in charge. Those guys are packaged and ready to go, and a lot of people are getting sick of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole problem, that the Republicans abandoned Chicago years ago, so they've had no choice. In the absence of a vacuum, they've had no choice but to go. So for the first time, there's a conservative voice in Chicago, and my goodness, do they have the Democrats rattled.
Well,
You make a very good point in the fact that where there is crisis, there is opportunity.
Always.
Now, I have to say, this breaks my heart, but I hear very often when I'm speaking to different groups. People will come up to me afterwards and say, Sarah, it's great, I love what you're doing. However, Illinois is so messed up that we can't fix it in this generation, that we should, help another state like Wisconsin. Yes, it's important to help neighboring states when it's needed, but it doesn't mean that we need to give up in this generation and leave our baggage to the next generation. This is an opportunity. And I'm sure there are many people that are here watching and listening that don't feel like they can make a difference. You can.
Yep. You know what? When we come back after the break, we're going to talk about how you can be the difference for a better Illinois.